Welcome to Lisa Needlecrafts and to this first series of Lisa Crochet. We will first do beginner crochet and then we'll move up to several intermediate crochet videos and then lastly some advanced crochet videos. This video is what I'll call a pre-crochet intro. There are all different kinds of crochet hooks that you can purchase, and here are small hooks. See the tops, they're really small, and here on the side of the hook it says this is a B, this is a C, this is a D, this is E, and this is an F size hook. They also have them in millimeter sizes. This is a 2.25 millimeter up to this one, which is a 3.75 millimeter hook. I just wanted you to see those. We will not be using those in this series of beginning crochet videos because you use those smaller hooks with crochet thread, and that's not what you want to begin with. These are kind of medium size hooks, a G and an H, and the millimeter size here says 4.25, and this H hook, which is a good common hook size to use, H, and the I size hook. This is, if you can see this, is a 5 millimeter hook. Get the lighting just right, you can see that. And in this first couple of videos, we're not going to be using either of those either. We're going to use a little bit larger size hook to get started with. This is a J, and this is a K, and this is an N, or a 10 millimeter size hook. They also make bigger ones, and if they get very much larger than an N, they're usually plastic. And this is a P size hook, or 11.5 millimeter, and this is a Q size hook, and it's a 15.75 millimeter hook. These are commonly used, this large crochet hook, for doing afghans with bulky yarn, which we will now talk about yarn. But before I do, I just want to let you know also that, as you can see, they're plastic hooks. There are metal hooks. They also make hooks that are wood, and so it just is a kind of a preference thing. I personally don't like to work with plastic. I usually always use metal. Now to the yarn. With these larger hooks, you would use this N and the P and the Q. You'd use a bulky yarn, or a super bulky yarn, and it has labels. All yarns nowadays have these labels so that you know what you're getting, and when a pattern tells you to use a certain kind of yarn, you can find what they're asking for with this label. And it will also tell you what size hook to use. Unless your pattern says to use a different size hook, it will say on the label of the yarn what size hook. And that's right here, and it says on this yarn you should use an N or a 9 millimeter hook. And there, that's what the little symbol for the hook, and this symbol with the skein of yarn will have a number on it. If it doesn't tell you the number 6, the higher the number, the thicker the yarn, or the bulkier it is. So on this one it does tell you above it, it says super bulky. So this is a nice chunky yarn that makes a real cozy scarf, or they're great for afghans too. So here's a 6 size yarn. A medium, or what's most common, what you'll find most of in a store, is 4. And here, I think you can see that, it is a number 4, and it does tell you above it it's a medium. These symbols on this are really small. Here's the hook. It recommends using, I need to get some glasses. I think that says a 6.5 millimeter hook, which is this K size hook. It says 6.5 millimeters. So we've gone from 6 weighted yarn to a 4, and let's see, just here, this is another 4, but it's the symbols are just a little bit different, the pictures. Here is the hook, says it recommends an I, 9, and on a hook it will have the US sizes. It has the alphabet letter and then a number next to it. So the K has the slash and a 10.5. And sometimes these numbers after the slash are different that go with that letter. It's not always the same, so don't be surprised at that. Now, a smaller number, this is a size, this is a 3, and it's categorized as a light yarn. And they usually have this yarn for baby blankets because it's finer. And it can go down to a size 2, which is even finer, down to a size 1. I haven't seen one with a label that says 1 on it before. That's getting close to the crochet thread, and the symbols are different for that. So we'll talk about that later in a more advanced class. So now you've got the basics. I would recommend to get started getting at least a medium or 4 type yarn. That would be the best. And I would recommend an I or a J size hook. A K would be fine too. I wouldn't go anything smaller than an H to get started. And so there you go. Now that you've got the pre-crochet basics and you can go get the supplies you need, and in the description box below this video, there's some resource places there for you. Now, after you get the hook and the yarn, you'll be ready to start with your first beginning crochet video.